Well, we've been talking a little bit about getting ready for the upcoming fishing season. Last week, we interviewed Mike Robertson talking about what's in your tackle box and are you ready, or is your tackle box at least ready for the upcoming season? Now we get into the fun stuff, and that is where to go and what to catch. And to help fill in some of the blanks on that, a real pleasure to welcome Kevin Fitzsimmons. He's a senior biologist with the Alberta Conservation Association. Kevin, of course, the ACA over the last number of years has been doing a huge amount of stocking across Alberta. Just at the 10,000 foot level, what is it looking like for this year in terms of putting trout into various ponds and lakes across the province?
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the opportunity to comment on that. Our stocking program is really just beginning. We typically start in late April, early May. This year we had a bit of a hesitation on the stocking with the winter weather we had last week and the week before, but we are just beginning our stocking program with the goal of stocking about 120,000, a little over 120,000 trout this year. And that's a combination of rainbow trout, which is the majority of the stockings, brook trout, brown trout, and we're also stocking tiger trout again this year. And those are stocked into 65 water bodies throughout Alberta. Typically, our water bodies are in the south and the east portion of the province. Many of them are in urban centers, and most water bodies are in parts of the province where fishing opportunities tend to be quite limiting. So it's to the southeast portion of the province, and with 3 species of trout.
In terms of what kind of species goes into what kind of ponds, is it, do you guys approach it from, okay, well, this habitat's best suited for that, or could you put any kind of species in any of your ponds?
Yeah, no, we do approach it from what ponds have better habitat, better water quality for the mixed species. Generally, the ponds that have the brown trout, the tiger trout, they're going to be ones that we hope to have a bit better survival into the season, throughout the late season, into the winter, and potentially even some carryover into the subsequent years. So we do try and pick our ponds that have better survival for those brook trout, brown trout, and tiger trout.
Of course, last year you brought on a new pond, Boulder, down in that Red Deer area. Are there any new ponds that would be coming online this year?
We're working with various partners to screen some new ponds with the hopes of bringing them on maybe later in the season, but it's probably going to be a 2023 initiative for some of our new ponds that we're working on screening. But we did bring Boulder on last year, and it's been a tremendous success. And it is again stocked this spring with trout for people to enjoy.
Obviously, like you said, people are getting out there and they are using these ponds. Do you have any way to monitor in terms of whether it be catch rates or what kind of fish survive the winter? Do you do those kinds of monitoring programs at all, Kevin?
Yeah, we do. We do a host of evaluation of our stock ponds, from monitoring the angler use of the ponds. We typically do those monitoring using trail cameras, which so we set a trail camera up. It takes a picture every hour at the water body, and based on the number of people angling, we can then infer the overall use of the pond throughout the open water season. We have also had staff at our ponds conducting angler interviews, which then we can get a sense of the catch rates, the harvest rates, and the utilization of fish at those ponds. We also do, at key ponds at strategic locations, we will do assessment of the fish to get a sense of how well they're surviving over the winter, how well they're being utilized, so how rapidly fish are utilized by anglers throughout the summer. And those are things like tag studies, tag return studies. So we use a host of different tools to assess and evaluate our fisheries in the province. And based on those tools and based on the results of it, we then use that to set our stocking rates at the various ponds. Currently, we have ponds being stocked, high-use ponds that have a lot of angler effort. They'll see more fish being stocked. They'll see more frequent stocking, so a spring stocking summer stocking, even a late summer, early fall stocking, compared to ponds that are not utilized as heavily by anglers. They tend to maybe see one stocking in the spring, and that carries them throughout the season. So we're trying to use those evaluations to be more accountable for the angler's dollars and bring more value to the pond for the angler.
Of course, Alberta Environment and Parks also does a stocking program utilizing the various, whether it's Cold Lake Fish Hatchery or out of the Crow's Nest area or the Red Deer Rocky Mountain House hatchery. Is there any coordination in terms of what you do and what the province does?
Yeah, there is. We share some of the stocking responsibility with the province. So some of our fish come from the provincial government hatcheries. The majority of them come from private growers, but we also coordinate between the various water bodies that we tend to have some of these smaller water bodies in the southeastern part of the province that we take care of the stocking. And many of the other water bodies that the government does they can often be larger water bodies with more likelihood of either self-sustaining or overwintering. So we kind of have that niche of the smaller put and take trout ponds, the family ponds, the children ponds.
And I guess finally, Kevin, in terms of, I guess it's probably a question you and every other staff member of the ACA gets over the course of the summer is, where can I get information? Where are the fish being stocked? Is there a place for them to sort of go on and take a look at, not necessarily the day that the fish are put in, but at least knowing that the lake or pond they're going to has been stocked?
Sure, there is. If people were to visit our albertaconservation.com website or search up Alberta Conservation Association, one of the pull down windows right there is stocked and aerated ponds, and that can direct people to maps and tables of the most recent stocking. That is going to be updated weekly during the stocking season, so people will know when their pond is stocked and when they can start heading out and fishing it.
Kevin, thanks so much. As always, I know a lot of anglers look forward to getting out and visiting some of these ponds and small lakes that you folks have been working hard at. And we'll check in with you again, maybe later in the season to see how things are going.
Great. Thank you for the time to comment, and I hope people enjoy our stock ponds.
There was one other item that Kevin asked me to pass along to you. Of course, we are seeing more and more cases of avian flu right across the province. So if you do come across a dead or a sick bird, please do not pick them up. Till next time, I'm Michael Short. Come on, let's go outdoors.